When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious
Hi there, good evening and a very warm welcome to the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Saturday edition. Thank you very much for joining me this evening for another 8 rounds of tough quiz questions here on YouTube this evening. I'm your host, Mark Hughes, and we're now at the 3-month mark of the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. As various countries start to ease out of lockdown, we're going to start to see some changes with the quiz, so stick about to hear about that. However, rest assured, we're not going anywhere. We've got loads of specialty quizzes coming up over the next month, but I've got more details on that coming up, but I'm sure you all know how to play at this stage. But for all the newbies who are joining, you're very, very welcome. Here's how you play the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Alright, like I said, a load of you guys here are totally familiar about how this all works, but if you're brand new, this is how we play it. Yes, like I said, you can play good old-fashioned pen or paper, straight up, or best way to do it, if you want to be in with a chance to win some cool prizes, then do click on the Google form, which is in the description of the YouTube video going out right now. You can play as a team or individually, it's totally up to yourself. So open the Google link, pop in your email address, and then answer all the multiple choice questions as I ask them, right? There's 8 rounds, 6 questions each, and there's only 1 correct answer per question. Once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit and you'll get your scores at the very end, but stick about to see the answers for the quiz. It's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or TV, play using the Google form on your phone or other device, and like I always say every week, good luck, it's just a bit of crack. Let's just have some fun on this very wet Saturday night. Well, it's wet here anyway in Stratford County Down. Don't forget, give us a follow on all the different social media channels. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want to shout out at any point tonight, get in touch via either Instagram or Facebook. I'll pick them up on the Messenger. Messenger have actually combined the two, so I will get your messages straight away. on Facebook and Instagram. But you can also drop us a line on Twitter too. Share your picks using the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. Love seeing where you're playing around the world. So let me know if you're in your shoutouts where you're playing, and let me know how you get on at the end. Always interested to see whether people find this way too hard or not. But anyway, do get in touch. Let me know how you're getting on. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the little bell button in the bottom as well to get some updates on more quizzes coming up over the next couple of weeks. And like I said, you can replay any of these quizzes here. The Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, 80s, 90s. We've done Friends, we've done Marvel, DC, Father Ted. You name it, we've done it. And we've got more coming up. We've got the horror quiz coming up on Monday. That's written by the guys over at Fright Club. Sure to be an amazing one there. Love that poster I made, actually. I'm quite proud of that. And on Thursday, the 2nd of July, we've got the first of our new quizzes. It's the Big Nerd Pokemon quiz written by my buddy Paul. So, like I said, we've got 2 more quizzes to go for this month, the horror quiz and the kids quiz, which is going to be the last kids quiz. I'm decided to not to pursue the live broadcast of the kids quiz from now on. However, I've got news on that. So that's what July's looking like. It's a brand new format. This is going to be the last Saturday quiz. I'm going to push the general knowledge quiz to Sundays. So as you can see, next Saturday there won't be a quiz, but on the 5th of July there will be general knowledge quizzes every other Sunday at 8 p.m. And I'm moving the Wednesday quizzes and the Monday quizzes to Tuesday and Thursday respectively there. So instead of a quiz on Mondays and Wednesdays, we're going to get them on Thursday evenings. Starting off with the Pokemon quiz, we've got a TV quiz coming up, Lord of the Rings, sci-fi, Doctor Who, a games quiz, a wrestling quiz, second music quiz, and another Star Trek quiz because I've got all those class graphics and sure, why not? Don't forget, if you're in for a chance to win tonight, this amazing t-shirt's up for grabs here from Northern Iron Tees. You can buy the merch from the website. Use the code BIGQUIZ for a 10% discount, not just on Big Nerd merch, but other really cool t-shirts and designs. And also from Northern Iron Brew, they're not related, they just happen to have the same name. But you can win a 12-pack of mixed beers, so the winner of tonight's quiz. So, and every other general knowledge quiz, it gives you an incentive to play. A 12-pack of craft beer from a local company, Northern Iron Brew, is up for grabs. Also, don't forget, Big Nerd Pub Quiz has actually landed its first corporate gig. So I've decided to kind of branch out. So if you ever actually want to hire Big Nerd Pub Quiz for private events, for your company or anything like that, it's perfect activity for social distancing, fully customizable questions and graphics. It's affordable and very easy to set up. I'd be doing all the hard work. Anything you want. For more information, just give me an email on bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com. And don't forget to support the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. You can donate via the PayPal and the Patreon. Yes, you guys have been so generous over the last couple of weeks, and all the work, it's totally free to play the quiz, but you can support the work that goes into making them by donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or just become a Patreon. Big, huge thank you to everyone over the last couple of weeks that have been donating to the quiz. I'll have to say, I'm absolutely humbled by that. And like I said, like 3 months, didn't expect the quiz to be going. Like, you know, we're still doing 50 quizzes, like I said. And don't worry if you're, you know, I know the kids quiz was a really big thing to do, but I am going to put up every Tuesday 6 rounds of questions on the Instagram. I won't be live producing them, but I will put up 6 rounds of kids questions up on the Instagram and Facebook for you guys to play at home. So don't worry if you won't miss it. I'm just not going to do a live version of it anymore. It takes a lot of time to set up, and I figured I'd like to dedicate my time to 3 quizzes a week as opposed to 4. Anyway, thanks very much for joining, and we're going to start off tonight. Hope you all got your Google Forms ready. We're going to kick off tonight's general knowledge quiz. Here comes round 1, and it's, as always, general knowledge. Like I said, it should really just be current affairs. So here we go, 6 questions all about news this week, and here we go, round 1, question number 1, and it is, yes, so this was in the news this week. A miner in Tanzania became an overnight millionaire after selling 2 rough gemstones for £2.4 million. But what were they? So what type of gemstone did this chap happen to find? He was a small-time miner, and he happened to find these two amazing gemstones in his property. And now he's an overnight millionaire. 2.4 million. Makes you think you want to go out there and start digging up the garden looking for something. But anyway, round 1, question 1. A miner in Tanzania became an overnight millionaire after selling 2 rough gemstones for £2.4 million. But what were they? That's question 1 this evening. Round 1, question number 2. So Olympus, the camera company, said it was selling off that part of its business after 84 years. But what was the business originally focused on producing when it was founded? All right. So it was selling off the camera part of its business, a very large part of its business this week. Japanese company. But what was the business originally focused on producing when it was founded? You know, a lot of companies actually have some very, very, very interesting beginnings. Particularly like Nokia, the mobile phone manufacturer, actually started off as a wood chip paper mill or something like that, and they ended up building the telegraph poles, and then ended up going into telecommunications. So yes, just gotta change that, fix that wee camera there. But yes, Olympus selling off part of its business after 84 years. It said, which business was it originally focused on producing when it was founded? It's one of those things, cameras are on phones now, and the phone cameras are getting much, much better, so that's what it is. Round 1, question 2. Round 1, question number 3. So who was meant to be playing at the main stage on Glastonbury on the Friday night had the festival gone ahead? Now, as we all know, Glastonbury got cancelled this year because of COVID, and a lot of people having serious FOMO. But in fairness, I never get tickets for it because the website is rubbish and it keeps on crashing every time I try to get tickets for it. So, and part of me is the certain level of schadenfreude there in the fact that I'm not missing out and the fact that everybody else is. So, am I better? Round 1, question 3. But who was meant to be playing the main stage at Glastonbury on the Friday night had the festival gone ahead this year? And it was actually the 50th anniversary of the festival that was meant to be held at Worthy Farm. Interestingly, not even held in Glastonbury. It's about 4 miles down the road from in another village. Anyway, round 1, question 4. Which famous tennis player tested positive for COVID-19 this week? He was off playing at a tournament there and tested positive. But I'm looking for the name of the famous tennis player who tested positive for COVID-19. Round 1, question number 4. Apparently everyone else on the tour has it as well. So it just goes to show you, it hasn't gone away. And even someone as big and famous like this can still get it. Anyway, so it's round 1, question number 4. Round 1, question number 5. An historic day in Irish politics. So who is the new Taoiseach of Ireland? 4 months after the election there, the general election in the Republic. So who is the new Taoiseach of Ireland? The Taoiseach is an ancient Irish word which roughly translates into chieftain or main head guy, but it basically is the Prime Minister. And the session of the Dáil was actually not held at Leinster House. Again, the first time the Dáil hasn't met there at Leinster House in over 100 years. And it was actually held at the Convention Centre in Dublin. You know, the big the tube with the cube in it, in down at the docks. Yes, so the first hearing of Dáil Éireann, and I think they're going to have the rest of Dáil Éireann's meetings there because it's a much bigger space, and they actually can separate everyone out, all the TDs. But who's the new Taoiseach of Ireland? And I said 4 months, long time to wait for them to form a government there. 4 months after the election. Round 1, question 5. Round 1, question 6. Your final general knowledge question of this evening. Liverpool, as you all know, won the Premier League for the first time this week in 30 years. What's the name of their team captain that led them to victory? Well, it was more like Chelsea. were the kingmakers in that they denied City the opportunity to catch up with them. Mathematically impossible now. Scenes from Liverpool last night, people going absolutely mad watching their outside partying and everything but yes, 30 years, a long time. Well done to all those Liverpool fans. Commiserations to the Man United fans who are not too keen on it either. But anyway, they're back on their perch. Liverpool winning the first time, but who is their team captain? And that's your roundup of general knowledge questions here. Go over them one more time. So, small-scale miner in Tanzania became an overnight millionaire selling 2 rough gemstones for £2.4 million. What were they? Olympus said they were selling off a part of its business after 84 years, but what was the business originally focused on producing when it was founded? 3. Who was meant to be playing the main stage at the Glastonbury Festival on the Friday night had the festival gone ahead? 4. Which tennis player tested positive for COVID-19 this week? 5. Who is the new Taoiseach of Ireland 4 months after the election happened there? And number 6. Liverpool won the Premier League this week for the first time in over 30 years. But what was the name of their team captain? All right, so that's it. Yes, happy days for all the Liverpool fans. You gotta say, fair play to Jurgen Klopp. He's such a lovely guy, and he couldn't wish it on any better person. Don't forget, get in touch with me via all the different social media channels here in the corner: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. But the best way, like I said before, is to get in touch via Facebook or Instagram. And if you want a shout out at some point tonight, I will. I've got a few messages here on my phone already, so yes, I will be in touch at some point and give you a shout out. Also, happy Pride weekend to everyone who is celebrating. Okay. Here we go. We're moving on to the next round. I'm sure you're all going to enjoy this one. Round 2 is a music round. And it's one we haven't done in a wee while. Well, we did one a couple of weeks ago, but I thought I'd bring this one back. It's an emoji round. I'm going to show you 6 emojis which will make up the name of a band. Very simple. We've done this before weeks and weeks ago, but I thought I'd bring it back tonight because I know you guys really enjoy it. It's a fairly simple, straightforward round. I can't really kind of go through them as much as I can in terms because they're far too obvious. But I know you guys will enjoy this, and if you're going to drop points later on, well, you'll definitely pick up points with this. So here we go. Round 2, question number 1. I have to say, I have to go Roy Walker on this. So the Roy Walker, say what you see, and if you see it, say it. Very straightforward. Which band is this? Round 2, question 1. So round 2, question 1. So round 2, question 2. Don't worry if I'm going too fast in these. I will go back over them. Round 2, question 2. Give you a little bit of a clue on this. This band are very famous on the internet for their really wacky music videos. Very viral style music videos. It's round 2, question 2. Round 2, question number 3. What could this be? Again, if I start describing them to you, you'll get them too easy. I can't give you any more clues than what are already there. But round 2, question 3. Round 2, question number 4. Is this a little bit more tricky? I don't know. See how you get on with it. Round 2, question number 4. Like I said, just add them up. Very straightforward. And you've got your options there. You know, you've got your options there. If you feel stuck, have a look at your Google question sheet. It's round 2, question 4. Round 2, question 5. Had a similar one to this a couple of weeks ago, actually. Yes, which one is this? Round 2, question number 5. And finally, what could that be? Give you a clue, they had a very famous number 1. The very, very last number 1 of the Naughties. If you played the Naughties quiz there during the week, you might have got this. But which band is this? Round 2, question 6. All right, we go over them one more time. Here we go again. So, round 2, question 1. I'll put these up for a couple of seconds, so just in case you missed them. Again, add them up. Say what you see. That's all I can say. Round 2, question 2. Round 2, question 3. Round 2, question 4. Question number 5. And question number 6. All right, so another emoji round done. I think the last one we did was the books one, but yeah, they haven't done them in quite a while, so I thought I'd bring them back for you all. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with me, if you have any suggestions for quizzes, I've got a couple of people tonight actually saying that they've got some ideas for quizzes. I know Alex Little has got me a Doctor Who quiz. The guys at Fright Club, they basically just came to me straight up and went, "We've written you a horror movie quiz." I was like, right. Okay, great. I've had 2 submissions for Lord of the Rings quizzes. One from Estelle Whiteleaf, who's submitted one, and another from a woman in Russia, Angelica, I think her name is. But she's playing. She always plays every week, and basically what I'm going to do is combine the 2 of them. So yes, we're going to take the best of, combine the 2 and pick out the 3 best rounds from each and mash them into one, and I'm going to get a friend of mine to review them. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining me on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz tonight. Like I said, keep all your messages coming in, and I'll sure to give you a shout out at some point. Use the hashtag Big Nerd Pub Quiz, and I'll see if I can get you a shout out later on in the show. Okay, so here we go. Here's the next round of tonight's quiz, and I know a lot of you guys will get this one. It's very, very straightforward, but round 3 is all about famous movie cars. Yes, we did the James Bond quiz there during the week, and there's a lot of famous Bond cars that we discussed, so it kind of gave me inspiration for this next round. 6 questions, all about various vehicles and cars in movies, or movies about cars, for example. But anyway, round 3, question number 1. So, what is the name given to the Ghostbusters car? A lot of people mistakenly think it's a hearse, but it's actually not. It's not a hearse at all. It's actually an ambulance. It's a converted ambulance. It's a Cadillac Miller Meteor Futura Duplex. And that's what it is. It's actually not a hearse at all. But yes, it's a pretty awesome car. It's one of the most iconic movie vehicles. But what's the name given to the Ghostbusters car? Round 3, question 1. So round 3, question 2. Who wrote the book and later the film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Yes, the famous gadgety car with Dick Van Dyke in the musical version of the film. The film came out in 1967. It was converted into a musical in the West End there. They had a flying Chitty Chitty Bang Bang prop. But round 3, question 2. Who wrote the book and later the film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Round 3, question 3. Which 1968 film starring Steve McQueen involves a thrilling car chase through the city of San Francisco in a Ford Mustang? I have to say, like, this, if I could own a movie car, I know everyone thinks, yeah, I would own a DeLorean, but I would totally love a Stang. Like that kind of dark British racing green Stang, like Steve McQueen has, and it's awesome. He did this in 1998. They did a kind of, they CG'd, did a whole kind of Forrest Gump thing with Steve McQueen driving I think it was like a Ford Puma. It looks as though he's driving it around San Francisco with the music from this particular movie in it. It's so cool. Yeah, it's so stylish. But yes, 68 film starring Steve McQueen involves a thrilling car chase through the city of San Francisco in a Ford Mustang. Just got an interesting fun fact there from Jez. Peter Jackson owns Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and actually drives it about. You see him around Wellington in New Zealand all the time. That's amazing. Good to hear from you, Jez. Glad you're watching tonight. Okay, round 3, question 4. So in which city do Michael Caine and his gang orchestrate their heist in the 1969 film The Italian Job? And I've just realised something. I spelled his name wrong. There we go. He's not Michael Caine. It's Michael Caine. Anyway, which city? You know, the 1969 film, the very famous car chase movie with all the 3 minis, and they're hanging off the back of the bus at the very end. But which Italian city do Michael Caine and his gang orchestrate their heist in the 1969 film The Italian Job? It's round 3, question number 4. Round 3, question 5. So what is the name given to the Batmobile used, or the nickname, sorry, given to the Batmobile used in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy? So yes, this is a very famous car. It was like redesigned for the Christian Bale era Batman films. It's considered to be one of the... it's certainly a different take on the design. Actually, I'm going to show you this. This is a... This here is like a tiny... I don't know. I think this was like... I got this from like Batman Returns. I think in 1992. I think you used to be able to get the sweets out of the bottom of it. But yeah, check that out. That's the it's the Keaton Batmobile, the Tim Burton Batmobile. But the Nolan Batmobile, what was the nickname given to the Nolan Batmobile in the Dark Knight trilogy? Round 3, question 5. Anyway, yeah, I still have it. It's still a cool little collectible. But yeah, I remember you popped that off and there was little candies inside. Didn't taste great at all. Like rubbish Pez. Anyway, round 3, question 5. And your final movie question of this evening. And I know this is a Bond question, which I actually didn't use, but I decided to recycle for this quiz. But what was the first car that audiences see James Bond drive in the film Dr. No? So yes, Dr. No, the very first James Bond movie, released in 1962. And it was the very first in a long line of 25 official James Bond movies produced by Harry Saltzman and Cobby Broccoli as part of the Eon Productions. There's been 1 or 2 unofficial Bonds. Most notably Never Say Never Again. But I'm looking for the name of the first car that the audience see James Bond drive in the film Dr. No. And there's your roundup of famous movie cars. So round 3, question 1. What was the name given to the Ghostbusters car? Number 2. Who wrote the book and later the film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Number 3. Which 1968 film starring Steve McQueen involves a thrilling car chase through the city of San Francisco in a Ford Mustang? 4. Which city do Michael Caine and his gang orchestrate their heist in the 1969 film The Italian Job? 5. What is the nickname given to the Batmobile used in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy? And 6. What is the first car making an appearance that we see James Bond drive in the film Dr. No? It was an interesting fun fact that I dropped into the Bond quiz there. There's only one Bond movie that you don't see James Bond drive a car, and it's You Only Live Twice. And it's his Japanese agent that she actually drives him in a very, very cool car there. And it's like a Japanese, gadget car. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to sign up to all the different links. And also that Big Nerd Pub Quiz, you can now hire the quiz for your social media events. Do check that out. You can hire the Big Nerd Pub Quiz for private events. Like I said before, perfect activity for social distancing. We can host it straight from here. It's fully customizable questions and graphics. It's very affordable and easy to set up. So you have any particular length of quiz that you want, any type of quiz, you can even customize all the different graphic elements for it as well. Takes it off your hands. And like I said, I'm doing my very first corporate gig in 2 weeks' time, which is exciting. So yes, nice to see where it's gone. Anyway, moving on tonight, and we're going to go straight on to the fourth round, and it is history and politics. Alright, so straight on to history and politics. Waste no time, and we get moving to bring us up to the halfway point tonight. And round 4, question number 1. So, here's a good one, and today was a TIL moment for me. Today I learned, and most of the time I do learn new things when I put these quizzes together. But on this day, in 1994, who were the first band to allow fans to download their track from the internet for free? And again, this kind of blew my mind in the sense that 1994, like, you probably have to wait a year to download with the internet speeds back then. You probably have to wait so long to download this one particular track. But yes, 1994 was the very first time a band actually decided, you know what, we'll allow our fans to download this track off the internet for free. All like 300 people that have the internet in 1994. I'm sure it was more than that, but there you have it. There, and this was it. It was on this day, 1994, 26 years ago. So who were the first band to allow fans to download their track from the internet for free? I'll give you a clue. It's not Metallica. They weren't keen on that. Round 4, question 2. On this day, and Air France flight 139 was hijacked en route to Paris by the PLO and redirected to which airport in Uganda? It was the scene of a very famous rescue. It was. I think it was en route from Tel Aviv to Paris. It was hijacked midway. I think it stopped over in Cyprus, and I think it was hijacked midway, and then forced to go to Libya, and then all the way down to Uganda. And there's a scene of a very, very famous Mossad rescue. But the airport itself, the name became synonymous with the event, and also the name of a film there starring what's her name? She's in the Bond movie. It'll come to me. The movie's called, I'm not going to give you the name of the movie anyway. You can't do that. But yes, round 4, question 2. So yes, on this day, Air France flight 139 was hijacked en route to Paris by the PLO and redirected to which airport in Paris? I believe the year was 1975 or 76. Anyway, round 4, question 3. So on this day, on 1905, sailors start a mutiny on board which Russian battleship? So yes, this was turned into a very famous Russian movie in 1925, directed by Sergei Eisenstein. So yes, on this day, in 1905, he was a very famous director. He pretty much came up with the montage theory in cinema. Oh yeah, it was Rosamund Pike and Daniel Bruhl and Eddie Marsden in the movie about that event. Previous to that, I have to say, round 4, question 2. But round 4, question 3. So on this day, 1905, sailors start a mutiny on board which Russian battleship? Round 4, question 4. So born tomorrow in 1703, which preacher was the founder of the Methodist Church? So round 4, question 4. Born tomorrow in 1703, which preacher was the founder of the Methodist Church? You see his name crop up quite a lot in Soho, I believe on the same street where the Ivy is. Martin's Lane in Soho is one of his early churches. There's a blue plaque there. But yes, Born tomorrow, 1703. Which preacher was the founder of the Methodist Church? Martin's Lane, obviously the home of, like I said, the Ivy restaurant and the Mousetrap, the theatre where the Mousetrap's on it. The longest running play in the West End. So round 4, question 5. So, which famous phrase did John F. Kennedy say during a speech in Germany in this week in 1963? Can't give you any more clues than that. I think that's, you'd probably definitely be able to work it out. But which famous phrase did John F. Kennedy utter in a speech in Germany this week in 1963? He was on the stage with, at the time, the mayor of this particular city, Willy Brandt, who went on to become Chancellor of Germany, or West Germany this was. So round 4, question 5. Round 4, question 6, your final history question before we come up to the first half. So finally, which East African nation was granted its independence by France on this day in 1977? It's a pretty tricky one, this. But yes, this country was a French colony right up until 1977. And it's today, coincidentally, it's Independence Day from France. But yes, I know I've left you with a pretty tricky one there. But round 4, question 6. Which East African nation was granted its independence by France on this day in 1977? It's kind of one of those questions that comes up in Pointless quite a lot. You know, it's like country in African country that really nobody knows the name of. Anyway, there's your history and politics roundup there. So we'll go through them one more time. On this day, 94, who were the first band to allow fans to download their track from the internet for free. 2, on this day, Air France flight 139 was hijacked en route to Paris by the PLO and redirected to which airport in Uganda? Like I said before, subject to a daring raid by Mossad. Number 3, on this day, 1905, sailors started a mutiny aboard which Russian battleship? 4, born tomorrow in 1703, which preacher was the founder of the Methodist Church? 5, which famous phrase did John F. Kennedy say during a speech in Germany this week, all the way back in 1963? And finally, which East African nation was granted independence on this day by France in 1977? Well, that's round 4 all wrapped up. We're halfway through the quiz. We've got 4 more to go. And here's a couple of quick little shout outs and adverts to go through, as we always do. If you've been watching the quiz since day dot, you know to give this quiz, this podcast that we follow. It's the Stuck in Here With You. Jez just been texting me there. He is the founder of that with his flatmate Mary. It's on Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts. How do you guys, that's a good question. How do you guys know when to define the end of lockdown? Let me know. Anyway, also listen to Hot Topic Nightmare. It's a cool podcast made by my buddy Paul, who's actually written this next week's Pokemon quiz. So do check that out. Big shout out to the guys at Banterflex. If you want to see my lockdown picks on their website, you can go to episode 16 of their reviews, and also check out their other stuff on their channel. They're on NVTV, that goes out in Belfast every Friday, but do check out their podcasts and all their content on their class website there. Also, big shout out to Fright Club, who have set up this week's horror quiz for me. And the Nerd Party, my buddy Lee Hutchison, who is a very fond listener and a very fine guy. But he's a fond listener of the show, and he curates a bunch of these podcasts here. Do check them out. Also, don't forget to listen to my 80s breakfast show. Goes out every weekday, Mondays to Fridays. So that's taking up a lot of my time. From Monday to Fridays, the Mark Hughes Breakfast Show, back to the 80s, all your favorite 80s hits in one place. Download their app. You can listen to their radio station at any time, and you can have your chance to win a SNES gaming console. We're giving away a SNES gaming console on the station. So if you want to be in with a chance to win, I'm hosting a little quiz on that. But do check out zestfm.co.uk. And don't forget, you're in for a chance to win this class t-shirt from Northern Iron Tees. And this 12-pack of mixed beers from the Northern Iron Brew Co. Remember, it's for over 18s only. But yes, the Lockdown Pale Ale, I have to say, I highly recommend. And don't forget to support the Big Nerd Pub Quiz on the Patreon and PayPal. Massive thank you to everyone who's been keeping this going. Like I said, I never thought. Jez just texted me there saying it's been 100. He's been 100 episodes in. I'm something like 50 odd quizzes. It's been insane how many I've been doing, and there's loads coming up. Like I'm sure you guys are all super excited for July. There's something there for everybody. Pokemon, TV, Lord of the Rings, sci-fi, Doctor Who, games, wrestling, music, and Star Wars. But anyway, we're gonna waste no time and move straight into the next round. Round 5. If you played this quiz anytime, you'll know that round 5 is always the sports round, and I think this is actually quite a fun one. I've made this quite an interesting round. Okay, we know Liverpool won the Premiership for the first time this week in 30 years, and the Premiership itself, but I thought I'd do kind of a different type of round this week. Round 5 has got 6 questions, and it's a picture round. I want you to name the team which the mascot is associated with. I'm going to show you 6 pictures of mascots, and you've got to name the team that they represent. There's an amazing funny Twitter feed called Mascots Minute Silence, and it's of these mascots obviously observing, poignant moments of silence, and it's just brilliantly funny. But anyway, starting off from the weird, and it gets weirder. Alright, I promise you that. If worst comes to worst, you can just guess by the colours that they're wearing, but I'm sure, like I said, these do get very strange. So here we go, round 5, question number 1. Filbert Fox. If you're any sort of sports fan, you'll probably recognise the sponsor straight away on the jersey, the colours. Which football team are known as the Foxes? They play at Filbert Road. I think those are loads of clues there for a nice easy one. Round 5, question 1. That should be a fairly simple one. Round 5, question 1. Filbert Fox. So what team does he represent? I think that's a nice straightforward one to get you started off with. Round 5, question 2. Another very straightforward one. Probably one of the most famous mascots out there. You'll recognize it straight away from the jersey. Gunnersaurus. It became the mascot. I read a Vice article about the kid that actually designed Gunnersaurus, and he gets to go to see all the games for free forever, I think, because it is the weirdest mascot. It's one of the it's a very strange mascot. But like I said, the last of the Invincibles was there just as long as their particular manager. Gunnersaurus. Which team does Gunnersaurus cheer on from the sidelines? Round 5, question 3. Again, if you know the colours, you'll probably get this. But Pete the Eagle. The team are nicknamed the Eagles. South team. Got a very fervent fan base. But round 5, question 3. Pete the Eagle. So which team does he cheer on? Okay, we're getting slightly more difficult here, but then again, just kind of work out from the nicknames of the teams. Round 5, question 4. Captain Blade. There he is there. He's got a kind of a pirate motif. It's kind of weird because this place is right in the middle of the country. It's not near the coast. I don't know why but anyway, they've gone for this kind of motif. Again, look at the name, Captain Blade. Look at his colours. Which English team might have a similar nickname? Round 5, question 4. Captain Blade. Okay, they're going to get a bit weirder now. Hold on to your butts for this one. Round 5, question 5. And I know what you're all thinking. WTF is that? Round 5, question 5. It's called Kingsley. I can tell you it was designed by the comic strip artist David Shrigley, the artist. David Shrigley made this, I don't know what, it's kind of like as a kind of parody or a comment on mascot culture in the modern football. But let's just say this is, and you know what, this isn't the weirdest one I've picked out. This isn't even the weirdest one. Round 5, question 5. Kingsley. Very, very disturbing. But like I said, this isn't the strangest mascot I've got for you. This is the weirdest one here. Round 5, question 6. Boiler Man. I kid you not. It's a guy dressed up as a boiler. And I know what you're thinking again. Is this for real? I can safely tell you, yes it is. I've seen Boiler Man race against the mascot of West Ham United there recently in the season. They had a halftime race down the sidelines as part of just a bit of crack, you know, at halftime. And let's just say the entire stadium was I just laughing my ass off at this. But Boiler Man, possibly the best mascot in recent times. Needless to say, Boiler Man didn't win. I think his lines of sight there is very good. Anyway, there's the roundup again. Filbert Fox, number 1. Gonnosaurus, number 2. Pete the Eagle, number 3. Captain Blade, number 4. Kingsley, number 5. Well, these are all very, very strange. And that's the roundup on Boiler Man at the very end there. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Quick commodity shout outs. Ashley and John are playing out in Arizona. Thank you very much for tuning in. I know you guys have sent me a message there during the week. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much. Cian Guckin is here. He says the Guckins are here in Dublin, Drummond, Anna Duff and Drumshanbo and Manor Hamilton, and they're playing tonight. Very happy with Micheál Martin becoming Taoiseach. Well, fair enough. We're enjoying tonight's quiz. Thanks very much, Ken, for tuning in. And we've got Lindsay. She's saying she's loving the background music. Yes, I've got a nice chilled jazz playing tonight. And Jez is playing in as well. Laura Kirk's watching tonight. And who else? Michael Western is also tuned in. He says he wants to make me a quiz and he wants to know what template to use. Well, I'll send you one out as soon as you can. If you have any suggestions for quizzes, if you have any feedback, you want to get in touch with all the different social media channels. Let me know where you're playing and how you're getting on this evening. Like I said, tonight's the last Saturday quiz. This is going to be pushed over to Sunday nights because, like I said, I can't compete with free Premier League football, and why should I? Because I want to watch it myself. Anyway, Big Nerd Pub Quiz coming at you tonight. Here we go, our next round this evening, and it's all about good old straight-fashioned geography round. No messing about with this one. 6 questions, all about geography. No kind of theme with it, just random questions about geography I plucked out of my mind earlier on today. So here we go, round 6, question number 1. What is Europe's largest port? So what is considered to be the largest port in Europe? Alright, 4 options there on your Google answer sheet. Round 6, question 1. So what is considered to be the largest port in Europe? Round 6, question 2. Brisbane is the capital of which Australian state? Maybe some of you guys lived out there at some point. I know loads of Irish people have done at various points in time. Round 6, question 2. So Brisbane, capital of which Australian state? I'm mindful that we've only got 15 more minutes left, so I'll try to be as fast as I can get through these. Round 6, question 3. Which South American country has land borders with 10 other countries? Actually, just think logically about it. But round 6, question 3. Which South American country has land borders with 10 other countries? I really want to go visiting South America at some point. I know I'm going to, well, definitely after when all this dies down, I want to go on a football tour of Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. And I've seen a travel agency that arranges such trips. I think me and my buddy Rafa were thinking about going, but yes. Round 6, question 3. Which South American country has land borders with 10 other countries? Round 6, question 4. So at 2,277 feet, Mount Botrange is the highest part of which European country? Mount Botrange or Botrange? Boat range. Bot range. I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong. But round 6, question 4. At 2,277 feet, Mount Botrange is the highest point of which European country? It's round 6, question 4. Round 6, question 5. Here's an interesting one. How many US states begin with the letter A. So start. You get the thinking cap on there with that one. Round 6, question 5. How many US states begin with the letter A? Start naming them. Start naming which US American states beginning with the letter A. It's round 6, question 5. And your final geography question for this evening, round 6, question 6. So Greenland is an autonomous territory within which country? It recently actually gained kind of further independence, but still quite linked to this previous colonial power. So round 6, question 6. Greenland, an autonomous territory within which country? It's round 6, question 6. And there's your geography roundup for this evening. Go through these one more time very quickly. What is Europe's largest port? Number 2, Brisbane, capital of which Australian state? Number 3, which South American country has land borders with 10 other countries? Number 4, at 2,277 feet, Mont Patrange is the highest point of which European country? Number 5, how many US states begin with the letter A? And at number 6, Greenland is an autonomous country or an autonomous territory within which European country? Okay, thank you very much for joining us here at Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Like I said, we're going to keep firing straight on. Like I said, let me know where you're playing. Do let me know if you want to shout out at some point, but I know we're pressed for time. And you know, I always try to get it finished before 9. I want to get it nice and tight within the hour there. But moving on to the next round of the evening, the penultimate round of the quiz. And I thought this would be a very interesting kind of themed one for the night. Round 7's all about sneakers. Yes, I'm a little bit of a sneaker freak myself. I have a small collection, but I've only had 2 pairs back with me from London. The rest of them are all over there. But yes, I'm particularly into vintage pairs of runners and stuff like that. But anyway, 6 questions all about sportswear and sports manufacturers and stuff like that. So I thought that would be a very interesting theme tonight. So anyway, round 7, question number 1. I'm sure nearly everyone has a pair of these because they're very, very popular. But which American basketballer was the namesake of the Converse All-Star back in 1921? You know what I'm talking about. It's a very, very distinctive shoe. It's got a canvas high top with a kind of white rubber sole in the front. They're iconic. They're kind of, it's amazing once you think how old this shoe is and how just ubiquitous in mainstream culture it is. I've owned about a couple of pairs of them, all different colors and everything like that, but you never can go wrong with nice old school black or white. But yes, there's a name on them. They've been endorsed by a man back in 1921 and he still has his name on them. But which American basketballer was the namesake of the Converse All-Star back in 1921? Very similar to the Stan Smith. He was a tennis player, but, you know, now synonymous with the Adidas trainer. Anyway, round 7, question 2. Nike, the famous sportswear manufacturer, is named after the Greek goddess for what? Round 7, question 2. Nike or Nike or Nike? It's always been Nike for me, I don't know. But anyway, famous sportswear manufacturer based in Oregon in the United States is named after the Greek goddess for what? Round 7, question 2. Bouncing on to round 7, question 3. So which sportswear company and shoe manufacturer was founded by Rudolf Dassler in 1948? Might be a clue there in the name. But round 7, question 3. German sportswear manufacturer company was founded by Rudolf Dassler in 1948. Round 7, question 3. That's some very, very famous sports endorsements, still do. Round 7, question 4. So which famous rapper collaborated with Nike and then Adidas to create the Yeezy? I'm not a fan. I think they look a little bit too weird and they're very, very overpriced for what they are. Round 7, question 4. Which famous rapper collaborated with Nike and then Adidas to create Yeezy? Round 7, question number 5. Which rap group was responsible for putting the Adidas Superstars on the map? Now, the Adidas Superstars, very similar to the Stan Smith, but they've kind of got this kind of very, like, a reinforced rubber toe. And the actual, they're actually volleyball shoes. I found out, like, way later on. They're actually originally designed for volleyball players. Clue with this one, they actually have a song called My Adidas. This is how much they kind of loved the gear. They kind of took that kind of European sportswear and brought it into mainstream hip-hop culture in the mid-80s. But which rap group am I talking about? They put Adidas Superstars on the map. They famously wore them without with the laces very, very loose. Okay, round 7, question 6, final one about sneakers here. In which 1989 science fiction film featured self-lacing Nike mags? Yes, they were made for the movie. They actually released several pairs of them. They cost quite a lot of money. I really want a pair myself, but they're very, very expensive and just I'm not gonna bother. But which 1989 science fiction film featured self-lacing Nike mags? And that's your sneaker round. We'll do a quick look over of those one more time. So which American basketballer was the namesake of the Converse All-Star back in 1921? 2. Nike, the famous sportswear manufacturer, named after the Greek goddess for what? 3. Which sportswear company was founded by Rudolf Dassler in 1948? 4. Which famous rapper collaborated with Nike, then Adidas, to create the Yeezy? Number 5. Which rap group was responsible for putting the Adidas Superstars on the map? And 6. Which 1989 science fiction film featured the very famous self-lacing Nike mags? I think everybody wanted them when they saw them after that. Alright, one more round to go here on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. This is the last one on the last Saturday edition of this quiz. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere, just moving the dates about. But like I said, thank you very much for putting me as part of your Saturday routine. I know it's going to be a little bit different, but you know what? We're easing out of lockdown, and I kind of figure like Sunday night's a better time for everybody. Here's your final round tonight, and it's a good old-fashioned arts and literature round. Yep, no bells and whistles with this one, just 6 questions, all about arts and lit from a nice broad spectrum of mediums. So here we are, round 8, question number 1. Which artist painted the poppy field in 1873? That's the painting there. So round 8, question 1. Which artist painted the poppy field in 1873? The actual painting itself is in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, which I was meant to see in March, but obviously things didn't go to plan in terms of travel. Round 8, question 2. Who created the famous sculpture The Thinker? Again, also in Paris. You know the one that's like, you know, it's the kind of pose I strike every day when I try to come up with these quizzes. It's like, I don't even think it's officially called The Thinker. I think people just think it's called The Thinker. I might be wrong. Anyway, I'm no expert. I just write the questions. Round 8, question 2. Who created the famous sculpture The Thinker? It is in a museum in Paris as well. Round 8, question 3. The Hunger Games young adult series was written by which author? Round 8, question 3. The Hunger Games, the young adult series was written by which author? Round 8, question 4. The creation of Adam is one of 9 scenes featured on the ceiling of which Rome landmark? So round 8, question 4. The creation of Adam is one of 9 scenes featured on the ceiling of which Rome landmark? It's very iconic. You know the one I'm talking about. Anyway, round 8, question 4. Bouncing on. Round 8, question 5. These are ones for all you English literature teachers and students. But how many lines are there in a sonnet? Yes, sonnets, in case you're wondering what they are, it's a form of poem which is very, very structured around it's a certain length. It's got a certain rhythm to it. Shakespeare, well, obviously one of the most famous proponents of the sonnet. So round 8, question 5. How many lines are there in a sonnet? That's your penultimate question. One more coming up. Don't forget, hit submit once you get your answers, and you'll find out the scores. Just stick about for the questions. Here's your final questions for tonight. Round 8, question 6. Which artist sold a balloon dog for $58.4 million? I know what you're thinking. What? Well, what artist sold a balloon dog for $58.4 million. Don't worry, you've got 4 options there, and you should, like I said, have a guess. Anyway, thanks very much. There's your roundup there of your arts and lit questions there. So round 8, question 1. Which artist painted the poppy field in 1873? Who created the famous sculpture The Thinker? 3. The Hunger Games young adult series was written by which author? 4. The creation of Adam is one of the 9 scenes featured on the ceiling of which Rome landmark? 5. How many lines are there in a sonnet? And finally, 6. What artist sold a balloon dog for $58.4 million? All right. And that's it for tonight's Big Nerd Pub Quiz this Saturday, and that's all your questions done for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yes, like I said, thanks to everyone for watching. I'm sure all the guys over in London, all my London buddies, big hello to you guys. Thank you for playing every week. On Saturday nights. Much love to you all, and you all know who you are, taking your times out and playing the quizzes week in, week out. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to do this, and like I said, lockdown is easing, and as I said, I've got to adapt with that. Like, I know, and I can't compete with free football, like I said. But yes, pub quiz will now be on. The general knowledge quiz will now be on Sunday nights. I kind of figured that's a nicer night for everyone to kind of do. So yes, don't forget to put that in your diaries. I'll show you what's coming up later on in the at the end of the show, but here are the questions, or sorry, the answers for this evening. So, round 1, question number 1. Tanzanite was the form of the stone which that miner found in Tanzania. Microscopes were the company which Olympus made. Kendrick Lamar was meant to be playing on the main stage of Glasgow on the Friday night. Novak Djokovic unfortunately picked up COVID. We wish him all the well. Micheal Martin is now finally the Taoiseach of the Republic of Ireland. First Fianna Gael or Fianna Fáil Taoiseach since the other man, Brian Cowan, there. Jordan Henderson was the captain of the Liverpool team. Those emojis. So you had the flaming lips, OK Go, Earth, Wind and Fire, White Snake, The Four Tops, and Rage Against the Machine. Your movie cars round. So Ecto 1 was the name of the Ghostbusters car. Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Bullet was the name of the iconic Steve McQueen film with the Ford Mustang. Turin is the setting of The Italian Job. The Tumbler is the name of the Batmobile in the Nolan movies. And the Sunbeam Alpine is the first car you actually see James Bond drive. Aerosmith, believe it or not, Aerosmith were the first band to allow downloading of a single on their site. Entebbe was the name of the airport in Uganda where the famous hijacking and rescue took place. The Potemkin, I mentioned that one before, Battleship Potemkin, the name of that mutiny. John Wesley was the founder of the Methodist Church. Ich bin ein Berliner was the speech given by John F. Kennedy in front of the Berlin Wall in 1963. And Djibouti was the country that gained its independence from France in 1977 on this day. So those mascots, so you had Philbert the Fox was Leicester, Gunnosaurus Arsenal, the Eagle was Crystal Palace, the Blade, Captain Blade, Sheffield United. Do you know the Blades? Partick Thistle is that kind of weird one by David Shrigley. And West Bromwich Albion is Boilerman. I love Boilerman. Anyway, round 6 question. Your round 6 answers are: Rotterdam is the biggest port in Europe. Queensland is the capital. Brisbane is the capital of Brisbane, or Queensland. Sorry. Brazil is the country with the most countries bordered to it. 10 countries. Makes sense because it's massive. Anyway, Belgium is where it was that very, very tall mountain. It was not that tall really, like, you know, but anyway, the tallest mountain in Belgium is that mountain which we mentioned in the question there. There are 4 states beginning with the letter A in America: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, and Arkansas. And Denmark is the country that has autonomy, or used to have autonomy, over Greenland. So, your Chuck Taylor. Yeah, look at your Converse All-Stars. People call them Chuck Taylors. Victory is the Nike, is the goddess of victory. Puma. So, Adolf Dassler and Rudolf Dassler were brothers. Adolf Dassler set up Adidas, Adolf Dassler, and Puma was Rudolf Dassler. They both set up two very successful sports companies. Kanye West was Yeezy. Run DMC were the Adidas superstars, and Back to the Future Part 2, the Nike Air Mags, and your arts ones there. Claude Monet painted the poppy field. Auguste Rodin did The Thinker. Suzanne Collins wrote The Hunger Games. The Sistine Chapel is the feature on the Michelangelo's painting there. 14. What was that again? 14. There are 14 lines in a sonnet. Sometimes I have to remind myself of what these was. And Jeff Koons was the guy who sold the balloon dog for quite a lot of money. Anyway, thank you so much for playing Big Nerd Pub Quiz, and thank you for all your support over the weeks. Like I said, this is the final Saturday one, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. We've still got loads and loads of quizzes coming up over the next month. I'm just going to do them at different times. And like I said, as the lockdown begins to wind down even further, I'm probably going to reduce it to about 2, but they're going to keep the Sunday one as kind of the main event, and the one where you can win your prizes of the Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt and the beers from Northern Iron Brew Co. Don't forget, the next quiz is the horror quiz written by the guys at Fry Club. That's on Monday the 29th at 8 p.m. The Pokemon quiz is going to be our first Thursday quiz, and that's going to be on the 2nd of July at 8 p.m. written by Paul. And there's the rest of your July. Stick that in your diary. I know loads of you guys are looking forward to Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, sci-fi games. Like I said, Thursdays are going to be a little bit more specialist, but Tuesdays a little bit more general, with the general knowledge being on Sundays. So that's your next month's lineup. Don't forget to tune into my radio show every weekday morning. I'm actually on from 7 now. For a kind of mad journey through 80s music. I don't really adhere to any sort of playlist. I just kind of just wake up and go, I feel like Talking Heads, and then go from there. Or, let's see, we'll go for a bit of Smiths, or we'll go for a bit of, I don't know, the Bangles or something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to Big Nerd Pub Quiz. I love having yous. I love doing this for you guys. And like I said before, hopefully to see you all again soon. And like I said, thank you for joining me every Saturday night for the last 14 weeks. It's been absolutely amazing. Big Nerd Pub Quiz is on again. The general knowledge is on again next Sunday. So do stick that in the old diary. And the next horror quiz is on Monday, and Pokemon coming up on Thursday. It's the final Big Nerd Kids quiz. Final Big Nerd Kids quiz is going to be this Tuesday. So if you want to tune in for that last one, by all means do. It's 6 rounds over 1 hour on Tuesday afternoon. I will honour that. But like I said, that'll be the final one. And then from now on, week in, I will put up questions on the website. It's much easier for me to do than actually produce this. Like I said, the effort that goes into having to produce this. And don't forget, like I said before, you can always hire the Big Nerd Pub Quiz for your event. Like I said, I got hired there recently. Where is that? Anyway, yes, there you go. There's all the details for the hire. Don't forget, you can always rent me out. Don't lot like that. Anyway, but you can rent out Big Nerd Pub Quiz for your big corporate events and stuff like that. But like I said, thanks very much for all your support. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon. Next one, like I said, on Monday and Thursday there, Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Have the great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. And I'll see you again soon. Good night.